Welcome guys, this is Prem and today we are going to learn how to create an Active Directory server VM in Azure. So in my last video, I have tell you how you can install a Windows 2008 server and install Active Directory services on that server in a Hyper-V cluster. But today I'm going to tell you how you can create from the scratch an Active Directory domain controller in a VM in Azure. So let's head over to the Azure portal and we will be creating all these resources you see. We will be creating, first we will be creating a VNet here, and then we will be creating a subnet /24, and then we will be installing a virtual machine in Azure Cloud in the same subnet, and then we are going to install Active Directory on that. So let's head over to the Azure portal and see how it went through. Okay, so I am here in the Azure portal and now I am going to virtual networks. So first we will create a virtual network. So click new to create a virtual network. So my subscription is free trial, it's already there, and I have to create a new resource group for this purpose. So let us create a RG resource group and let us call it AD, or we can call it Azure AD, right? And click OK. And let's give a name to this virtual network. Let us call it as VNet AAD East US. So let's call it VNet AAD East US because we are creating this in East US. Okay, by default it is selected, and we can also have this, maybe we can change the name, but I think it's okay, no worries. Let's go to the next tab and provide the IP range. So we will be giving a 16-bit subnet here, and it will be 10.0.0.0/16. Okay, so I think it's already selected by default, so we don't need to edit here, but in case it's not there, you can edit. I will be deleting this subnet and I will be creating a subnet with the name because that was a default subnet. So let's give it a name AAD1 East US. So no, that's a VM name, sorry. I will give a name SNet AAD East US. So let's name it subnet AAD East US. And let's have this subnet as a /24 bit. So that's 10.0.0.0/24. Okay, so now we have a subnet, and for now I am not selecting any services, but if you want, you can select it here. It will automatically open the required ports for you. So it's better while you installing the Active Directory services, it's better you select this service so that related endpoints are created. So let me click add. So subnet is added. Let's go to the security. So I'm not enabling any services for now. For firewall, I have already created a separate video. You can check in my libraries where I have created a series of Azure Cloud. You will find this firewall as well. Let's go to the tag and name it role, and let's call it AAD. You can leave it empty or you can add more roles. It's okay. Let's review. Once the validation check is completed, just hit create to create the new network. Okay, so validation is passed. Let's create. So deployment has been submitted and now deployment has been started. Okay, as expected, it doesn't take so much time. So let's go to the resources and see what we have there. Okay, so we have a VNet created, and the address space we see is a 16-bit. So we have so much host available, and the subnet we have is this. So now we are going to launch a VM, and that VM we will launch in this subnet. So now let's create a VM with this name. So I will head over to the virtual machines now. So from the left top, you can click and you can go to the virtual machines like this. So click on the virtual machine and you can click add and you can click virtual machine. So I already have a resource group created for my Active Directory environment. So I will call it as AAD. I will select the same. Let's name this virtual machine as we decided, AAD1 East US. So AAD1 East US. I am taking the name AAD1 because in future I would be able to create more VMs and we can play with the migration of Active Directory environment, or we can or learn about the replication between the several sites domain controller environment. So I will do that in the future. So for now, let's have this one. It's in the same region, and I currently do not need any availability options. We will have a separate video on creating the availability zone and availability sets. I will launch a VM which is a Windows 2019 data center. I will select it as a minimum requirement because we are not going to use very much. So 1 CPU, 1 GB memory is enough for me, but you can launch it as a some good quality VM, or you can just click on all sizes and you can have a robust VM if you want for this. So here I'm just looking for some cost efficient, but you can do BMWS, you can launch the B1MS as well, where you will find 2 GB RAM and 1 CPU, or maybe you can have a B2S as well. So, but I will, for the now, I will have only B1S as a minimum requirement. Okay, so I already have that selected. Let's have some username. So I will name it as Azure user, as I always have. And let's have the password. So I will select some password for it. Okay. So I will select public inbound ports as none. So I don't want any traffic, or maybe you can select some traffic and you can have RDP access to it. And this will create a inbound RDP port available from the public inbound ports. So let's have this so that we can actually RDP this server. Click next to configure the disk options. So here you can have standard SSD, or you can have SSD or premium SSD. I will select standard SSD or maybe standard SSD. Okay, the selected VM size supports premium disk. We recommend to for premium. So I don't need so much IOPS in this domain controller. And they are also asking me to have some encryption by default. So it's okay, or you can enable it. And now I don't have need any extra LUN, but you can create any extra LUN for having a separate disk for backups of domain controller, or maybe you want to have your sysvol folders and your netlogon script files on some separate drive, so you can have add some disk here. Click next for networking. So the default network I have is already selected here, and let us have create a new public IP and let us name it as PIP. So AAD1 EU PIP, and we'll have a basic, and assignment will be dynamic. We can have a static, but I think I am using a free trial, so it will may not allow us, but secure I will have basic. Click OK. And you want to create an NIC security group. Definitely I want to create a NIC because yeah, I will create a network security group for this server NIC because I want to protect it, right? This is one layer of security. Public inbound ports is always selected, so I have selected 339. Click next for the management. So boot diagnostic I want to enable because I want to see what is happening with the VM while I'm not able to access it. You can enable backup, auto shutdown, Azure Active Directory login with AAD credential if you want to log in this server. but we will create this as a separate domain controller, so we don't need that. And you can have a patch installation. OS orchestration patches will be installed by OS, so it will automatically install the patches, or we can manually select to install the patches. Click next for the advanced settings. I don't want to install for some extensions for the now. We will create separate videos for installing some extensions for updating patches on the server and monitoring these VMs in the Azure cloud. So I will have this Gen 1 VM. I can create some role here, so I can select Active Directory. So I'm adding tag here in case I want to later have some policies applied, and you can select that as well later on. It doesn't matter. So now click next for the review, and if the validation passed, we can just install the AD server. So it's just a normal VM for now. It's not nothing much. So we are creating just a VM as a initial steps to create a Active Directory services. So you can see the roles tag. So it's already have these things in here, and it's also telling us that you have a RDP port open from the public, so it may be troublesome. But yeah, we want this to be open, or maybe we can actually try to not have this, but I will surely want to have this, right? So let us create it. It will take a moment while this VM is launched. I will pause the video and will come back once this is done. Although this is not going to take much time. Okay guys, so now you can see the deployment has been succeeded. So you can just click on here to go to resource, or maybe you can go click here as well to go to your VM. So here we can see that our VM is there and the state of VM is running. We got a public IP as well to access this VM. And as I selected, I will also be having a network security group with connected to this NIC. So I will go, you can see in here, there is an NSG created already here, and the RDP port is allowed so that I can access it. You can also apply or changes, you can change this rule, or you can try to put your public IP here if you want to access this from one single location, but I'm not doing that at a moment to secure it. So because this video is not about security, but it's about installing Active Directory on the VM. Okay, so let's go to the overview and let's download the RDP file to access this VM. So it is downloaded. I'm connecting to this VM. You can see the certificate warning. You get it. Click yes. Okay guys, so now we are able to log into the VM. Let me resize the window so that we can actually work on this. Okay, so we see that we have logged into the Windows 2019 server. Or maybe we can have it full screen. But before we start any AD installation on this, first we should always ensure that we have the static IP address, private static IP address for this server. So let's go to the networking, and you go to the network interface card. You can see here a network interface card is automatically created. Click on this and go to the IP configuration. Then you see there is the IPv4 assigned to this VM, which is 10.0.0.4, which is the first IP address of this range. So click on that. So here you can actually specify if you want this IP as a static. So I will click on static, and you can see it will be static now. So I click on save to make the IP address static. But any IP or DNS related changes, you actually require to reboot your VM before it comes into effect. So let's see, once this deployment is completed in the interface card, we will reboot the VM manually. Okay guys, so it was pretty quick. I will now close this and let us head over to the VM console, and looks like it's already gone while I do some changes. No, it's not gone. So let me close this RDP session and head over to the overview, and let's restart this from here. So let's do it. While you are restarting, we have enabled the boot diagnostic, so you can go to the boot diagnostic and you can see what is the current status of this VM. So you can see the VM is again back. So we are back into the VM. So let the server manager comes up. We will be using this to enable the Azure, enable as Active Directory services, and then we will be promoting this server to Windows Active Directory server. Okay, so we have our server manager running. Let's wait for a while so that it collect all the information, and then we will go ahead and add some roles to this server. So I think it's done. Let's click on the add roles and features. Okay, click next. Role based, yeah. Select the same server. Now go to the Active Directory domain services and select it here. Click on the add to add the additional features if needed. And since this is the first domain controller, we will also enable as a DNS services. So it says the validation process found a problem on the server which you want to install the feature. Install feature anyways, this. It says server and no static IP were found on this computer. If the IP address changes, client might not be able to. It's okay because we already marked this IP as a static. Click next. You don't have to install any feature along with this. Click next, next, and click next. Install to enable the ADDS feature. It's just enabling the ADDS feature, but promotion is done later once this feature is installed. So I will pause this video here and come back after this role is installed, so that I don't want to make this video very long. So guys, welcome back. So we are done with the installation of Active Directory role on this server. Now we will go ahead and promote this domain to a domain controller. So you can see a link here. These days you will find a link here only. So you can just click on this as well to actually promote this server to a domain controller. So I will click on this link, and now you are in a wizard where you are able to install the AD. Now this is my first domain controller in my forest. So it will be a root domain, and I will type a name here as hitechcandy.com. I will click next because you select the option add a new domain, add a new forest, because this is the first domain controller. You can also select add a domain controller in the existing domain if you already have a domain. I will create a next video on this while I will install a additional domain controller in a domain. So click next. It will check the availability of this domain if it's not already installed. I will select the functional level to Windows 2016, which is the recent functional level available. Let's have the DNS server and global catalog selected, and also describe the password. This is a DSRM password called Directory Service Restore Mode. While a domain controller is corrupt and you want to recover it using the command line, you would be able to do that, and you need this password at that time. Although you can remotely reset the password as well, but for now we are putting the password here. Click next. Here you can create a DNS delegation. So because there is no zone available, so it will be by default created. Click next. Now it will take a NetBIOS name available for this domain. So that will be automatically selected, but you can change it. So it's a hitechcandy.com. Click next to proceed. You can actually change the location of the NTDS folder where your NTDS database is stored, which is a Active Directory database. It is having the naming extension as ntds.dit. Sysvol is the folder where all the policies and scripts are stored. Click next if you want to have the default location. Otherwise, you can click on here and you can change the location of this drive. Click next. You can view the script as well here. You can use this script to launch a VM from the PowerShell, but we are not doing this. But you can use this for future deployments, and you can click next to start with the installation here. So now it is verifying all the prerequisites. Now you can see all the prerequisites check passed, and now we can click on the install to begin the installation of AD. So it's starting the process. I will pause the video after few minutes so that it doesn't take so long, but this server will be rebooted automatically while the AD installation is done. Normally, first domain controller is installed very fast because there are no so many objects there. So I think we can wait on the video to see what it is doing while we install a domain controller, and it will be rebooted eventually. So now you can see the server is automatically being restarted because the installation of AD is completed. Let's close this, and we will move forward for post installation task for a domain controller. And now you see we are able to log into the domain controller. There are a couple of things you have to do after the installation of AD. So we call them as a post installation task. So the first thing you have to do, you have to go to tools and you have to go to DNS. So in DNS, you first have to create a reverse lookup zone for the IP address you are using for this domain controller so that NSLOOKUP resolves to the correct primary name servers. So here we see the IP address of our domain controller is 10.0.0.4. Let's go to the reverse and create a new zone in the reverse. Click next, primary. Let's say replicate to all the domain controllers in a forest, IPv4 reverse lookup zone, and type in here the three states of the IP. So let's type it 0.0. So it will be a 8-bit for us here. Let's click next. Allow only the secure updates for now and click finish. So now you see we have a reverse lookup zone created. Now you again go back to your forward lookup zone in DNS and you click on this record. You can also enable the advanced features to see more in the options. So you see here you have the TTL as well now. So you just click on the update PTR record, you apply and OK. So while you do this, you will find that there is a reverse lookup zone, reverse record, which is we call the PTR record, pointer record will be created for this server. There are a couple of zones in reverse which are automatically created. So we are not actually going into details on them. And once this is done, you go to all tasks and you restart your DNS services. Okay, so how to verify it? So you go to the command prompt, or maybe you can go to the PowerShell, it's okay. And you just hit NSLOOKUP command here. So you see, I am getting a IPv6 IP address, so it's okay because I did not disable this IPv6 while I was installing this. So, but you can do that prior to installation. So let's go to the Network Security Center and go to the NIC properties. And you can go here and you can just disable this IPv6. So it's okay to disable. Okay, so let's go to DNS again. Restart the DNS services once more. Clear all the cache. Close this window. Try to run the command again. And now you see it's a local host here. So why you see the local host here? You see the local host here because we have not updated the NIC properties of this server to use the DNS of its own. So let's say ipconfig, let's call it ipconfig all. And you see here the DNS server is mentioned as a loopback address. So now we are going to change this address as a second step. And to do this, we have to stop this VM and start this VM once more. So let's minimize this and head over to our Azure portal. So you go to your virtual machine, which is a domain controller. You go to the networking. You go to the NIC for this domain controller. And you go to the DNS configuration of this. So you can say it is inheriting it from the network. But we have to provide the custom DNS server for DNS, which will be 10.0.0.4, which we have. We don't have any additional DNS server for this VM. Let's click save. Let's wait for a while it may take some time. Let me pause the video. Network settings are successfully saved. And here you can see the custom settings we can see. but it will not be affect any NIC changes you do. You just need to stop the VM and start it. So I will stop the VM this time to make the changes to the DNS. You can alternatively go to networking and you can actually verify the DNS server settings we place here. So it's static here. Let's go and stop the VM and see if that make a difference. So let's go, and it says you reserve the public IP address, so I don't want to reserve it. Okay. Let's come back once this is stopped, and I will stop the VM this time to make the changes to the DNS. You can alternatively go to networking and you can actually verify the DNS server settings we place here. So it's static here. Let's go and stop the VM and see if that make a difference. So let's go, and it says you reserve the public IP address, so I don't want to reserve it. Okay. Let's come back once this is stopped, and I will. Welcome back, guys, again. So now you can see we have successfully stopped a virtual machine, deallocated it, and start a virtual machine. So let's head to our VM and see if we are able to set the primary DNS servers, and we will also check the result of NSLOOKUP. So here I am going to run the same command. This is an all-rounder command used worldwide. So here we can see the primary DNS server we have is the same as the server IP, because this server is the DNS server. And let us try to run NSLOOKUP and see if we are able to remove that IPv6. Okay, so now we have the correct IP address, and if you want to resolve some google.com, maybe you will be able to resolve it, or something like gmail.com, or maybe azure.com. So you will be able, your DNS server is able to resolve all these names here. So guys, now we are with this, we are successfully able to install an Active Directory server in the Azure cloud. And this concludes this session, and hope you like this video. Please subscribe to my channel, and thank you guys for watching. I will be back with more such interesting videos in future. Thank you guys, and have a nice day.